The culture is excellent.
The gun ain't running
There's a man down.
I'm calling both games.
When you gather with friends and family for the holidays, remember to be thankful for all of those in your life. It's been a rough couple of years, but the bonds that hold us together need to remain strong. The weather may be cold and miserable outside, but that doesn't mean the sports scene isn't hot. Thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NFL and sponsor of this video, you can make the season a little bit warmer. All new customers who sign up using the promo code UTREE can bet $5 on any pregame moneyline wager and receive $150 in free bets if it wins. With DraftKings, the options are limitless. Any game, any situation, any season-ending outcome, it can be wagered upon here. You can even try same-game parlays if you want that extra bit of risk to go along with your football-watching needs. If your state doesn't have DraftKings Sportsbook, I'm looking at you, California, you can still participate in daily fantasy with plenty of cash prizes at stake. Remember to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code UTREE and receive $150 in free bets if their bet hits after placing a $5 pregame football wager. That's promo code UTREE, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. As always, remember to gamble responsibly. There comes a time where you've been in a situation for so long, you stop giving a shit about results. The more I see the New England Patriots, the more I believe Bill Belichick is simply choosing to troll us all. You can't look me in the eyes and say that Matt Patricia and Joe Judge can lead any sort of offense. I feel like the hoodie's headset isn't connected to the team booth, but to the set of impractical jokers. Everyone has a good old time as Buffalo methodically dissects not only the Patriots' defense, but Gillette Stadium as a whole. No wonder why Boston is pissed. I see more life out of Al Michaels broadcasting games these days. The Bills dominated this affair like they've dominated the rivalry as of late. Doesn't it suck when the shoe's on the other foot, Pats fans? Oh, poor Mac Jones. Someday you'll be rescued from this offensive hell. It's the curse of Buffalo to somehow lose when you convincingly win. That blood toll will be paid today in Von Miller. There was some hope for him. Von allegedly escaped death itself on Ford Field turf as he'd only be out for a few weeks. Sadly, the lie detector determined that was indeed a lie. He tore his ACL. Surgery needed. His season's over. The MRIs were trolling you, Buffalo, and that news shanks them right in the core. They kinda needed him for the playoffs. It's not a trip to fuck city yet, but it's deflating. You can have nothing good in this world, boys. Sorry about that. He's back. Deshaun Watson has taken the mantle of the AFC North's most loathed QB. And we'll all forget about it when he has a wife and children as a PR move in 3 years' time. His first game back was like him coming out of the womb, covered in placenta and freezing from repeated exposure to the elements. A player who hasn't played in almost 2 years is rusty and inaccurate? Shocking, I tell you. But that doesn't damage the Texans' resolve. Even if their disgraced former QB is awful, when there's a will to lose, there's a way. Houston's so awful in all facets that they'll hand the game to Cleveland on a silver platter. They'll play long-range game by making Joe Woods' hackneyed unit comparable to Buddy Ryan's 46 defense. Cleveland can take this match. The real win is in the future, and that means the Texans are the first team eliminated. Perhaps the Detroit Lions have finally figured something out. In their defiance of stereotypical football, they featured one of the deadliest offenses in the league. This isn't a joke. Under this might, the Jags had no goddamn chance. No matter what they did, they couldn't stop them. Over 400 yards of offense on the day. The Lions scored points on every single drive they had. Touchdowns each time they went into the red zone. It was complete domination on this front. And I don't exaggerate. Jared Goff had another 300-yard game this season. I'd feel bad for Jacksonville, but it felt inevitable. They just got crushed under an industrial press for 60 minutes. When the only highlight was Trevor Lawrence not being injured long-term after a freak incident, it was a bad day. Detroit will take it, though. They've now won 4 of 5. And people wanted Dan Campbell fired a month ago. eyes aren't deceiving you. The Packers in a tank bowl? Are you out of your mind? Well, before this game, Green Bay had a top 10 pick in the draft. This is a tank bowl. Don't tell them that, though. They still want to foolishly believe a playoff berth is still within striking distance. Fortunately for them, guess where they are? Their vacation home in the heart of Chicago. Every time the Packers stare in the face of hell or fail in January, there's always the warm embrace of their hated rival to the south. They only have Justin Fields being sent out to carry an entire freight liner to victory or die trying. I will say he's doing his best attempt in doing so. The Bears have a really strong lead headed into the half, but then you remember, Aaron Rodgers owns Chicago. Long after life on this planet is dead. Long after the sun is burned out. Long after our memories and traditions are merely dust drifting across the cold abyss of space, Aaron Rodgers will defeat the Bears. He pulled out the whip from his bag of bullshit and started beating people with it. Be comforted, Chicago, your tank is still secure. Their reward is the cold, bitter death of elimination. The Steelers are now 15-2-1 against the Falcons. Atlanta hasn't found a way to beat this damn team since 2006, and it's probably going to be another 4 years before they get another shot. If only the Falcons weren't the epitome of anti-clutch, they may have had a chance. Marcus Mariota completely missing big throws, key drops of others, and all failing to stop the plodding movement of an opponent who merely trots to victory. The Steeler offense at least doesn't look absolutely awful against weak defenses. Najee Harris killed a man. That was nice to see. Way too close for comfort with too many missed points on the board and George Pickens pissed off at not getting the ball, but it's progress. It was mostly due to Atlanta failing to make the most of all the chances they had and coming up short, but Pittsburgh has won back-to-back games somehow. The Steelers are really going to bullshit their way to a 500 record, aren't they? It's almost an absolute dogma by now. A.J. Brown will have his revenge. The Titans' failure to pay this man what he desired will instead be paid by means of blood and limbs. Philadelphia barely broke a sweat against these boys. The key is clear. You stop King Henry, this offense becomes flaccid. When faced with such a daunting task, Tennessee just shut down. The Eagles' offense soared to heights we haven't seen in a week, as Devontae Smith and their former savior A.J. Brown destroyed them through the air. Almost 400 yards of passing from Jalen Hurts. A delicious feast for his targets all game long. The Titans respond by losing Christian Fulton during the game, which is only another sting to a season that will probably end in a wildcard loss at home. Solid bounce-back game for Philly after the past few weeks. I find Tennessee to be completely fraudulent, but you have to make examples of those you are far superior than. The A.J. Brown saga is one that the Titans have probably regretted for a good bit. Watching him give his former team a whooping was the straw that broke the camel's back. Tennessee needs a change. And that comes in the form of GM John Robinson's dinner being poisoned by the team's servants. It seems perplexing in the middle of a playoff push, but looking further into it, the move makes sense. The Titans are in hell. They're only contenders because the division they're in is dog shit. They've had years of fuck-ups from a personnel standpoint. Suspect drafting, suboptimal offseason moves, and locking themselves into the uninspiring Ryan Tannehill for the foreseeable future. Not to mention that whole A.J. Brown thing. It was either him or Vrabel. And Vrabel ain't getting fired. Mike's now going to ascend to the Bill O'Brien of the Titans. Unlimited power surrounded by sycophants and spineless yes-men. You hate Todd Downing, but he doesn't rock the boat. He's protected. At this point, Tennessee might just be shuffling deck chairs around. I had Denver winning the AFC West to start the year. That's probably one of the coldest takes I've ever had on this shitty channel. And I've had some awful moments. Remember, Broncos fans, last week was merely the worst game you saw at that time. Watching this anemic excuse of an offense try to cook a bowl of cereal results in nothing hitting the damn bowl. There's a new strategy they're trying. Can't score in the red zone? Don't go there to begin with. In fact, don't score a touchdown all goddamn game. Nobody is. Baltimore's Greg Roman empire is still crumbling in front of us. Their offensive centerpiece in Lamar got busted up, so they had to bring in his non-union equivalent in Tyler Huntley. The difference in this game is Lamarginal. When You dial up a reverse that a fucking wideout chucks into triple coverage? You call that genius? I call it self-destruction. The Broncos somehow have a lead of more than 3 points, which is cause for alarm. That stout defense can't be rewarded for their outstanding play. They'll be the spitting image of the 77 Falcons and enjoy it. I can't believe it's not Lamar Jackson, somehow leading a comeback drive to kill off whatever's left of Brandon Perna's sanity. You have to make it slow and methodical as well just to drive it in further. But they won't die, for the ride never ends.
Hill in motion. Huntley takes it himself. A block and a touchdown.
I'd be really fucking alarmed if I were the Ravens. You only won this one because Denver's offense is a struggle session against itself. At this rate, I think the Broncos defense alone could beat the Broncos. It's not much of an accomplishment. Tune in next week as the Steelers somehow end up winning that game by Deus Ex Machina. Welcome to Topsy-Turvy World. It's a place where a matchup between the Giants and Commies has serious playoff implications for both teams. This is the first big matchup that these two have had against each other since Week 17 in 2016. Washington will want to make sure that result doesn't happen again. Unfortunately for them, New York is keen on staving off a losing streak, and despite their limited abilities, they want to one-up a division rival. The result is a tightly knit neck-and-neck affair, one where it's not the prettiest of matchups, but both will work hard to achieve the glories of victory. The G-men force a fumble to push the envelope. They even find the end zone again to secure the lead, but they can't break through to secure a victory. It's a rugby scrum if there ever was one. Every inch is precious, yet no real progress is being made by either team. It's a stalemate led by either good defense or shitty offense, depending on how you view things. But Taylor Heineke has moxie. He will unleash his power of having 10,000 dogs in him at a moment's notice. He'll make clutch throw after clutch throw until the inevitable happens.
And now Heineke over the middle. It's Dotson. Dotson spins. Whoa! To the end zone. Touchdown!
The game is tied thanks to incredible individual efforts. Despite this momentum, neither team can do anything with it. We must endure a round of overtime. It will be full of stalled drives, punting aplenty, and neither team able to power through the grind of no man's land. However, New York has a chance to overcome such adversity. They reach field goal range with time winding down. All they need is Graham Gano to send them home.
From 58, Gano's kick is short. Oh!
The ball took that literally and came up just short. We must sacrifice this game to the gods for the almighty tie. Neither team really deserved to win, so we just kicked the can down the road. The ultimate conclusion to this storyline is conveniently in 2 weeks. It's all for ratings, I swear. The motherfucking era of Mike White has begun with haste. It's not starting out as well as hoped. He struts his cock out and throws all caution to the wind, results be damned. Good for them because Minnesota's jumped out to an early lead, in spite of trying to take it easy on their worthy opponent. They're just taking what the Jets are giving them and moving ahead methodically. No other way to do it to gain a 20-3 lead. However, you cannot resist the power of Mike White. Why? Because fuck you. If only the Jets weren't completely inept in the red zone. They made it down there 6 times in this contest. Only one of them resulted in a touchdown. Otherwise, it's back-breaking penalties, missed passes, and an uncomfortable amount of Braxton Berrios. Strange choice. In the meantime, the Vikings managed to score another touchdown. Even then, the Jets are creeping back into this contest. The refs felt bad for New York being shit in the red zone and gave them a touchdown on an overturned call on 4th and goal at the 1. The Vikings are only up by 5, and they're running into resistance from the opposition's defense. Mike White will get his chance to etch his name in stone, but a common foe is ruining their chances of gaining the lead.
Berrios, the motion man. White looking. White slings it! Berrios did not secure it!
Their sudden over-reliance on Braxton Berrios. And shitty red zone play as well. Minnesota's never been a team to give their fans a relaxing moment. It continues with another chance for the Jets to win. Their fans will die before they can celebrate. Yet, even then, New York has a major problem on their hands.
Jets down 5. White launches! Picked off! And it's over!
They step foot in the red zone again. Alas, the coin was wrong last week, so it must be wrong again to rectify the course of destiny. The Vikings escape yet another one-score game to keep pace for the number 1 seed. And considering they've beaten 3 of the 4 best defenses in the league, it's not a fluke. It's nice to see them win these games regularly for a change. Rams house! It somehow lost billions of dollars and shaken the public's faith in the club in less than a year. Where do I begin? Matthew Stafford's probably done for the year, Aaron Donald's missing the first game of his career, everyone and their mother is being shut down, and they can't tank since Detroit has their first rounder. John Wolford is under center for this match, but Seattle can't take full advantage. It's awkwardly close. Kind of like glancing at the Habsburg family tree. The Seahawks have a lead, but it's marginal at best. Mostly due to the fact that they keep tripping over themselves with turnovers. If not that, failure to score in the red zone. If not that, whatever this interception was supposed to be. And if that's not enough, add more failure to score in the red zone. The inability to convert always leads to pain. And LA punishes their foe for such complacency. An unthinkable offensive drive. They somehow scored a touchdown with Cam Akers. The Rams have the lead. Playoffs are in the balance for the Seahawks, and a great drive is needed. Their soldiers will march on, and they will fight with everything they have, all the way to the end zone or bust.
Smith waiting for the shotgun snap. The fake. Rolls right. Throws for the end zone. It is caught. DK Metcalf.
Boy, that was an ugly one, wasn't it? Seattle starting to show some cracks, but their playoff hopes are very much alive with this win. Their upcoming schedule, though, seems pretty mixed. Better beat the Panthers and Rams again to have any shot. Master versus Apprentice. A matchup that always fascinates me. Will the teacher unleash new tricks, or will the student find ways to usurp control over the school of football? In this contest, we've learned that the master didn't teach everything he learned to his student. He saves his best tactics for himself, just in case his protege has the arrogance to strike at him. It comes in the form of elite defense. Even in the face of one of the best offenses in the game, there will be no chance for them to secure traction. No ability to allow their weapons to thrive. Tua will look so off that his haters come out from the caves to flex on him in victory. It was a close affair for a huge chunk of the game, but San Fran would not be deterred. They would convincingly pull away in the end to get their 5th straight win. The all-in push continues with haste. Wait a second, you want to ask how Jimmy G's doing? We don't talk about that man around here.
Garoppolo in trouble, and he is sacked.
We've been over this, Niners. Jimmy G has never been your quarterback this year. He has merely been a figment of your imagination. The man under center has been and always will be Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant has become more relevant than ever to this team. He's a 16-year-old handed the keys to a Lamborghini. Baptism by fire in the furnace of Levi's Stadium. Wouldn't have it any other way. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say this is must-win for the Chargers. With how tough the schedule is for them coming up, they have to take every gimme when they can. This would be the right call to make, if it weren't for the fact that the Raiders exposed a key weakness of their opponent. Their utter lack of a defense. It's true they're injured to hell, especially on the defensive line, but they've been having issues on that front long beforehand. The imposter LA has no answers for Josh Jacobs or Devontae Adams. How many times must we go over this? When people say the Chargers have a chance to break out, never believe them. We'll just fumble it like Austin Eckler somehow did on this drive. It all leads to the predictable pain that Chargers fans have learned to numb themselves from. You grow a tolerance to this kind of shit, that's not a good sign. It's merely resilience to a completely avoidable situation. Kind of like how the Chargers run things. Justin Herbert's transformation to the new age Phillip Rivers is going smoothly, because nothing good can occur in this world. Just like the Raiders winning their 3rd straight. They play the Rams next week. Hey, have to make Josh McDaniels look good somehow. Witness the revenge match for the AFC Championship game, where spectacular duels commence and challenges for conference supremacy are at stake. Cincy needs to keep pace with the Ravens, who somehow keep winning despite their offensive stagnation. Kansas City just wishes to secure the glories of the number 1 seed. It's going to be tough considering they're up against the team that bested them in the playoffs last year. Let's hope they don't get cocky this time around. Since he's out to an early 2-score lead, but the Chiefs will show resolve. They'll stuff the Bengals on a critical 4th down near their goal line. They'll stiffen up on offense to unleash their full power. It's no question that Kansas City was going to take the lead. It was when it would happen. The Bengals do kick a field goal, but the path is set. With control in the 4th, all they need to do is continue to push. Suffocate their opponents down to their last breath.
Here's Mahomes hit when he threw it. It's Kelsey. Pratt's trying to hold on to him, needs some help. Ball came out. Ball came out, and Pratt has it.
The grasp of the game is stripped from their hands like it was from Kelsey? Travis Kelsey's fucking up now? There really is a first for everything. We know how Joe Burrow reacts to this news. An efficient, timely drive. It's about as automatic as the Chiefs are.
Backpedaling, man wide open at the 5, and that's a touchdown for Chris Evans.
Since he keeps goddamn doing it against Kansas City. They take the lead by 3, but you can't sleep on the Chiefs. Fortunately, the Bengals don't. Their defense stuffs them on a critical 3rd down and forces them to rely on the leg of Harrison Butker.
Gotta hook it, gotta hook, gotta hook.
That's also something that tends not to happen with regularity. Now Cincy can win if they can burn the clock. They've managed to get 1 first down, but they need another on a 3rd and 11.
Pressure, pass. Oh, that's gonna do it.
I don't know what's causing it. Maybe it's something in the water. Maybe it's the will of the gods themselves, but the Bengals have repeatedly owned the Chiefs over the past year and change. This is their 3rd straight win against them in a critical situation. Zach Taylor can't game plan his way out of a paper bag some weeks, yet consistently beats Andy Reid. You figured that one out. The nation had to seriously witness the Indianapolis Colts play in another primetime game. We went over this in the last Monday night game. The Colts fucking suck. They're a calamity in disguise as a professional football team. The only reason why the national media isn't putting a spotlight on how shitty they are is because Washington exists. Now do you see how bad they are? The first 3 quarters of this game were a mirage of competence. Once the 4th quarter started, oh boy. I saw Building 6 of the World Trade Center implode in a slower amount of time than Indy did. It was a catastrophe. Their destruction has turned them back into the laughingstock they were a few weeks ago. Matty Ice is absolutely fucking cooked. And if that isn't painful enough, the team simply stopped trying. Dallas just had their way with them afterward. 33 points in a single quarter. This says a good bit about the Cowboys and what they can be at their peak ability. It also says a lot about Jeff Saturday's Colts. This is a team without hope. They're destroyed in all aspects. The only benefit is scoregami. For God's sake, Dallas, Indy's been dead for 10 minutes. Give their families a chance to claim the bodies. I honestly feel bad for Saturday. Dude's set up to fail. As I say this, Dallas will merely keep practicing celebrations in the Salvation Army kennel. How can something be so bland to watch yet so utterly predictable an outcome? It's Tom Brady, of course anything's possible. New Orleans only had control of the game for a significant portion of time. And by significant, I mean almost 55 minutes. Tampa Bay looked fucking terrible. No offensive line. No running game. Shitty play calling. Brady forced to either eat it in the pocket or airmail deep balls to Julio Jones. This dude has destroyed so many Microsoft Surface tablets while screaming at his team over the years you can declare it a genocide. The Saints are pretty awful, but this is the New Age Tank Division. They'll clamp down and move in their limited state to a 16-3 lead. Should be over, right? We're ignoring that the scriptwriters got lazy and chose to remake a classic for modern audiences. Introducing the Tom Brady template. A foolproof checklist for nearly every Brady comeback in his illustrious career. Unforced fuck-ups by the other team? How about a visibly injured Mark Ingram stepping out of bounds before the goddamn first down marker? Then throwing a random quick screen on a 3rd and 1. And then punting from midfield. That's a definite check. No Brady comebacks without a momentum-changing penalty. How about a long defensive pass interference on a ball Brady missed the target on? It is a fair call the cornerback couldn't adapt to the changing trajectory. That's enough for an easy TD, but we need a 3-and-out to really get the script predictable. Taysom Hill unable to catch a dime from the red rifle on 3rd down will do it. And then the final part. Defensive coordinators going mental by calling soft zone prevent against one of the best passers against zone defenses in league history. Jesus Christ, Saints, can you try not to take a fucking dive? I know you keep failing when it matters and Dennis Allen is a hack, but this is pathetic. Oh, call a penalty on the first TD Brady threw for offensive holding. Can't be that deliberate with the writing. Who cares? The Bucs are winning because New Orleans is awful. Just play the clip.
Underneath, and touchdown, Rachaad White!
Forgive me if I'm completely unimpressed. I don't know how you do that with a 13-point comeback in 5 minutes, but it somehow happened. This win allows Brady to surpass Peyton for most fourth-quarter comebacks in NFL history. But I just feel like I've been insulted by watching this. I still need a loco of the week. Congratulations, New Orleans. You've just won the only trophy you've earned without scandal. And I'm turning into a bitter old man over this shit. It might be time to retire and get a real job. Football is a brutal game. May the bell toll for the fallen.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Thus concludes another week of this sermon on the field. Amen.
Switch seek over. He's got it. And he's got it. Elliott, touchdown. Oh, are they going over to the kettle? Kettle time.